This is a monologue from Macbeth. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. And this is Sonnet 29. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble death heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoy contented least, yet in these thoughts myself almost despising. Haply I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day, arising from soul and earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings, that then I would scorn to change my state with kings.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Speak Your Mind. Thank you so much for being with us today. Give snap, snap, snap for our featured artist today, Jessica Gaddis, who you just saw, her lovely poetry. She is an expert in Shakespeare. She's the program director at Shakesperience, as well as an actor herself, a director, an author, a poet, a playwright, artist of all trades. And today is very special because she's going to talk us through the art of writing sonnets, and a little bit of background about the poets that wrote sonnets, right, and Shakespeare as well. But folks at home, grab a pen because this is all about you right now. We do our writing challenge, and it's a little bit advanced, but anyone can do it. So just bear with us. You're going to write a 14-line sonnet, a 14-line sonnet. You can pause the video right now and go and write it, or you can watch it first and then come back to it, and Jessica will give us some tips on how to make that easy. But of course, we both wrote our own sonnets, and we're going to share them now, and Jessica is going to go easy on me, but I always have my guests go first. Well, usually I have them go last because I usually save the best for last, but I'm going to have you go first because then I'll read my sonnet, and then you can give me a little bit of critique, as well as a little bit of praise, as well as a little bit of the history of you and sonnets.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good. I hope
you
you're
so
not.
much.
You called me a Shakespeare expert.
Yes. Well, in our world, in our Connecticut world, you are. So
Okay.
we'll give you that. And thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. All right, are we ready?
We are ready when you're ready.
Okay. I forgot to give this a title, so we're just gonna call this, since this is my second sonnet that I've written, third sonnet I've written, we're gonna call it Sonnet 3. I sit alone in darkness, waiting for dawn, for light, to know my way across the board. When moving, will I go as queen or pawn? My doubts, fears, insecurities as horde attack each piece in my brain, destroying peace, and challenging my knights, rooks, and my king. Nights fighting with shadows that refuse to cease, and winter days with little sun to bring the gentle warmth. The kingdom of my brain against defeat still strategizes hope, but almost ready to forfeit this sad rain, let griefs rain down. But then a kaleidoscope of color shines from your so dazzling smile. You bring calm, peace, and daylight for a while. Usually I do a snap, snap for spoken word, but with the elegance of a sonnet, we're going to do the sign language applause. Really nice. Very nice. Thank you. Lovely. Thank you for sharing. All right, so I'm going to get into it. I did kind of label mine, and this, of course, again, is for the folks at home. You know, I did label the format, but also to help me with the 4
quatrains,
Yes.
and you'll get into that. So I did my 4 lines for my quatrains. I did my A-B, which is my rhythm.
You're rhyming.
My rhyming.
Yes.
And then I did my lines for my iambic pentameter.
Yes.
And then my last 2 for my rhyming couplet.
Yes.
Again, don't freak out. Jessica's going to go through all of this with you. Again, she's going to point out what I did right and also critique what I may have missed the mark on, because I think you learn best from your mistakes. You can't learn from your perfect. So bring it on. All right, you ready?
Ready.
All right, hope you like it. The light you glow is in all my fair sight, for you did hide your face to all but me. The man at home did dim your heart with might. Your quest returned glory to set you free. As time went by, the gloom of life's sorrow made cloud and dust in her tender, weary eyes. The tears came on gentle wish for morrow, a chance to set a new path to revise. With words of prose to her poet's ear, waken those who come bout to praise and play. Enchant the ones who love and help her dear, washing out the wanton memory past gray. For sourest things turn sweetest by their deeds, roses that blossom smell better than weeds. Thank you. Now, this was my very first sonnet that I ever wrote. I took a lot of liberties for the syllables. And then, did you notice what I did at the end?
Let me see.
From Sonnet 94. It messed up the whole iambic pentameter, but I'm like, I had to do that for Jessica.
Yeah.
All right, so lay it on me.
Okay.
And you can let the folks at home know too, like what the structure is and how it's laid out.
Yeah. So let's talk about that before we get into the specifics of yours.
Great.
So a sonnet is a 14-line poem written in iambic pentameter, which is 10 syllables per line, 5 unstressed and 5 stressed, and they alternate. So it goes da dum da dum da dum da dum da dum, like a heartbeat.
Dum da dum da dum da dum da dum.
Yeah. And then also, if you didn't have enough of a challenge with that, it has a rhyming pattern that goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G, at least with the Shakespearean sonnets, which is the style that's the most popular, most famous. So yes, written in 3 sets of quatrains or 4 stanzas of 4 lines, and then ends in a rhyming couplet. And so yeah, it's very challenging.
And what is a rhyming couplet to layman's?
It's a pair of 2 lines, and they rhyme.
Okay, great.
So it's a couple of lines that rhyme.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
A couplet.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
So yes, let's look at. I want to look. You were saying your last. Was it just with the rhyming?
Well, so I took the last 2 lines for my rhyming couplet. I took it from Sonnet 94, so it's literally the rhyming couplet of Sonnet 94.
Oh, the whole lines are
the whole lines are the same. I just rearranged the wording. So it did throw off the iambic pentameter. But it's the very same lines. I changed it. It was like lilies. I changed it to roses. And
oh yes,
so
on this line,
words.
I was looking because this line is the iambic pentameter is correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, you start roses is stressed, unstressed instead of So roses that blossom, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed. Unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed. Yeah, so this last line, the only one that is irregular are the first pair. It goes stressed, unstressed instead of unstressed, stressed.
So I changed around the iambic pentameter. Now, is that legal?
Yeah, I mean, it's poetry.
Okay. But
it
wouldn't be considered a true rhyming couplet, though, the way I did it?
No, so the 2 lines are still a rhyming couplet. It's not a perfect iambic pentameter set of lines.
Okay.
But, I mean, Shakespeare plays around with, his sonnets, depending on who you ask, because, again, like, you can scan it different ways, but depending on who you ask, there are lot of people who say that the sonnets are all truly regular. But in his plays, he includes a lot of poetry in his plays as well, and he plays around with the rhythm and those all the time to emphasize mental states of characters and to emphasize the love between two characters and just a whole bunch of different things. So yeah, if we're talking about is it allowed in Shakespeare, yes, of course.
Right.
Is it allowed in sonnets?
Not so much.
Depends on who you ask.
Okay. So basically, like if I was being like graded specifically on my sonnet form, it wouldn't get an A.
Right.
But in the world of Shakespeare and how he played with regular, irregular, it would still fit the bill of a sonnet. And I also think too, like for folks at home, it's like knowing that I messed it up, I think helps. Like I think it's different. Like if you want to write the sonnet, obviously you want to stay true to form. But if you change it around for a reason, as long as you know that it's off form and you just don't write it thinking it's on form or on your iambic pentameter and hand it in and be like, oh yeah, and not know why it's different.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you kind of have to know the right way to do it in order to like change it around.
Exactly.
All right.
So
Nice.
like, again, if we're going back to the expert of Shakespeare and his genius, then when he broke the pattern, there was a reason for it, to emphasize something in a character or to emphasize something in society or whatever. Like it's not just this willy-nilly of, well, that didn't work. Like there is a reason.
And my reason was because I really wanted to use those same 2 lines, but I knew it wouldn't follow. But I wanted that to kind of be the fun little like nod to Shakespeare for you being here. So I'm like, okay, like I know this doesn't work, but I really want these same lines. So I'm gonna just like squeeze it in somehow and then let you sort of like critique me after. So I thought that was fun. And then the other thing I took some liberties in, as you see, like memory instead of memory.
Yeah.
And Shakespeare does that a lot, doesn't he?
So much. And I did that in mine too, where it was a kaleidoscope. He allied the 2 syllables of a and the first syllable of kaleidoscope into one. So it's a collide.
Nice. So just shortening, like I'm making a contraction out of a word to make it fit the iambic pentameter, so it's just a 2-syllable and not a 3-syllable. So instead of memory.
And that happens all the time. And real life as well. People have different accents and they emphasize, like if there are some words here in America that have 2 syllables, but if you go over into England, then it's going to be a 3-syllable word or vice versa.
And it made me think that's probably why Shakespeare uses morrow a lot instead of tomorrow. I'm like, I thought it was just, kind of like the language of the day, but I think he was trying to get that iambic pentameter.
Yeah. Once you start studying it, you're like, oh my goodness, he was able to play around with so much.
I love it. So tell me a bit about you. I want to hear about like how, one about your writing, your playwriting, the teaching artist stuff you do, as well as your Shakespeare experience.
Okay, that's a lot to cover.
I know, right? What should we start with? Let's start with Shakespeare. Like what got you into Shakespeare and your work at Shakesperience.
Okay, so my love for Shakespeare started in high school. My first play we read was Romeo and Juliet. Did not really care for that. That was freshman year. Sophomore year, we read Julius Caesar, which I fell in love with, especially in Act 3 when you get to this whole crowd is against the murder, assassination of Caesar, and Brutus comes out and he's like, hey, look, we're gonna let his friend Antony speak because they were friends. And so like he goes and speaks, and just by using his words and his language and his performance, he's able to completely switch it around so that by the end of his speech, they're a crazy mob. And so it really emphasized for me the power of language and the power of like this mob got in such a frenzy and like that mob thinking, and to the point where in the next scene they see Cinna the poet and they're like, oh my gosh, he's one of the conspirators, let's kill him for revenge of Caesar. And then he's like, no, I'm not one of the conspirators, I'm Cinna the poet. And they're like, well, he has the same name, let's kill him anyway.
Wow.
And just that those couple scenes just made such a big impact on me.
And that was in high school, you
Yes.
said. Wow.
And then my senior year, we read Macbeth and Hamlet.
Oh, good school.
Yeah.
What school?
All the
Shout
way
out.
in Nebraska.
Good for you, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Doing it right.
But yeah, and then I fell in love with Macbeth as well, with the witches and the what's predetermined and what is free will, and the witches' prophecies, and were they manipulating Macbeth, or were they just giving prophecies that just they knew? And so yeah, it's that whole thing is so tangled up in the mystery and the different ways you can interpret it.
And did you perform? Did you act as well in high school?
Yeah. So we didn't
usually
have.
like this interpretation and this depth and passion of interpretation. In the back of my mind, like you must have been an actor as well, because usually people don't get that much out of Shakespeare from just like a high school literature class. I usually find that from like actor, people are embodying it. And for you at high school to have such a depth of understanding.
I mean, we did have a community theater that I was a part of, and we did have our music department did a musical theater every year. Neither one of those ever got into Shakespeare, but I, at the time, already knew that I wanted to be an actor, and already had such a great passion for stories and the way they can impact people and make them think about new things and new perspectives, and the way that an actor and an audience can interact with each other. And so I knew that love was there, and the love of language was there, that even without the performing aspect of Shakespeare, I knew that it was something that was going to be a big impact for me.
And it and again, like it just shows you had a heart of an actor. Because like most just, kind of like literary students aren't going to have that that much of an understanding and a connection, a visceral connection to Shakespeare, unless you're a performer in your blood, in your being, So fast forward.
Fast forward, I studied theater in college, and then. I don't think you know this, but after college, I spent some time doing community theater and then had an opportunity to go teach English in China.
Ooh.
And so I spent 4.5 years there.
Fun.
And then came back December of 2019, just a few weeks before the pandemic started.
Wow.
So I didn't know that's what I was avoiding, but thankfully I did.
That's cool.
And came back and had always dreamed of going to New York, and I had no permanent plans, no ties or anything other than I wanted to see family. And so I started lining up auditions and job interviews, and then got an audition for Shakesperience. And I was like, well, I can spend a few months in Connecticut. And then I ended up staying, and I really love it. And
what's changed the Shakesperience for folks at home?
Yes, so we are a theater company. We're in Waterbury. We teach classes, acting classes. We have after-school programs and Saturday classes. We take workshops to schools. You've done some workshops with us.
And you're so great to work with.
Thank you. We have workshops in Shakespeare, poetry, folklore, mythology. We have a new El Barrio workshop, which is about Hispanic folktales. And it's all about engaging with the students and getting them up on stage with us, and helping them break down the language of Shakespeare. And
excellent. And you're doing a show right now there.
So we are in rehearsals for The Gift of Peace. You probably can't, I didn't bring a big poster, but I've got these little flyers here. Our performances are December 11th through the 13th, and it is a series of 3 short stories. First, an adaptation of The Gift of the Magi. And then we have a 2-person scene, The Silent Night, Christmas Eve Truce of World War I. And then we have an original piece called Holiday in Winterberry.
Wonderful. So if you're watching this before December, go see the show. We do repeat shows, so it's after that. Check out the website. The website is?
Shakesperience.org.
Shakesperience.org to see what else is going on. You're also a playwright, and I know you wrote an adaptation of a show. of a play that I'm going to help you out with. Is that correct?
Yes, that is.
Okay, good. Want to tell a little bit about that?
Yes.
Before we get up and do it?
One of the things that we do at Shakesperience is we help out the Waterbury Arts Magnet School with several productions. Our artistic director, Emily Mattina, always co-directs the Shakespeare production. They're doing Macbeth this year.
Nice.
And then we always help out with the middle school production. And the last couple years, the teacher has gotten one of his high school students in his directing class to direct the middle schoolers. And it's their directing project. And so 2 years ago, the student wanted to do an adaptation of Sadako. And so the teacher, Scott Schulte, said that he could get a script of that online and pay royalties and everything, but we've been doing this thing where it's like, well, if we write it at Shakesperience, you don't have to pay royalties. You can change things if you want to, if it like that casting doesn't quite work or the number of actors doesn't quite work or whatever, you can tweak things. And so we've been doing our own adaptations. Last year we did Christmas Carol. A couple years ago we did Alice in Wonderland, which were those 2 scripts we had already.
Fabulous. So we're gonna
Yes.
get up and do it now?
Yes.
So you're not going anywhere? And folks at home, do not go anywhere. We have more from Jessica Gaddis and me as her actor. So stay tuned.
All right, so this is a piece, the beginning part of a script that I adapted for the Waterbury Arts Magnet School for their middle school production 2 years ago. The high school student that was directing it, she wanted to do an adaptation of Sadako, which we will see in this legend right here. And then, yeah, we'll get into what happens after it later. So you will read narrator 1 and 3, as well as the mom and dad.
Okay.
I will read narrator 2, as well as Sadako.
Beautiful. Thank you. Exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Should I just go right into it?
Go right into it.
Here we go. 1943.
Japan, a new child is born.
Sadako grows, learns. Hiroshima bomb.
Family separated.
Her mother searches. Sadako! Sadako!
Mama!
Sadako survived.
Friends gone, neighborhood destroyed.
Sadako unharmed. So it seemed at first.
Protected by ancestors.
Darkness lurked unseen. Years passed. She's 11.
Track meet, she runs, family cheers.
Collapse, shock, fear, sick. At the hospital,
New illness, A-bomb disease.
now called leukemia.
Papa,
How is my little Sadako?
better. I think I grow stronger.
Your words give me hope.
Why do people keep sending me paper cranes, Papa?
They are sending you well wishes.
I don't understand.
The crane lives 1,000 years.
No, it doesn't.
How long does a crane live? 1,000 years.
Even if that were true, what does that have to do with anything?
If you fold 1,000 paper cranes, you'll be granted health and a long life.
That's so many. I have to fold them all by myself?
I will keep you company while you make them.
How do I even start?
You take the paper and make the first fold, like so.
That was my first work of origami that day. Ta-da!
Beautiful!
I kept folding, one after the other, 104, My mama and papa brought paper. So did Chizuko, a friend from school. 309. There were so many pretty colors. 679. Chizuko would see how many she could stack on my head. Papa would fly them around the room. Mama would serve them tea. On days I didn't want to move, I folded paper from my bed. 784. Look, Chizuko, I colored this one red like your bow.
Then I'll color one green like your charm bracelet.
On better days, I asked nurses and other patients for what scraps they could spare. Arigato, 966. Hope came easy in those days. 1,000. Mama, Baba, it's good to see you. Look, 1,000 cranes.
Then your wish will come true.
I think so too. The cranes gave me hope. Hope for myself, hope for the world. I had made it to 1,000, but I kept folding. Extra birds for extra hope. That makes 1,450. Where should we put this one, Baba?
Wherever you want.
Maybe by the window. The sun is shining today. It must be nice there.
Yeah, I think so.
Mama,
Yes, my darling.
do you still have hope?
Always.
Then I think I do too. Chizuko, you're the best friend I could ever ask for. I think I'll make one more crane. Maybe not. I'll try again tomorrow. I think I died. It's different from how I expected. I feel different. I glide through the world, watching my family, watching all of history. I wish for all of them to have the hope I did. There's a statue now in honor of that hope. This is our cry, this is our prayer, peace is in the world.